I think it's only a matter of time before the Lakers start star hunting and just give up on this core they currently have
Whoa.
in place. I just watched this team and I feel like, man, there's so much pressure on LeBron to be great at 38 years old. And you look at the stuff he's doing right now, and we do this every year with LeBron. I can't believe he's doing this at 36. I can't believe he's doing this at 37. But like at 38 right now, the dude is averaging 26, 8, and 6, shooting 59% from the field.
59%. I
He's
saw that last night. I was like, I know he's been
70%
good
in the
this year.
clutch.
Yeah.
He's
That's
second in the league
crazy.
in clutch points, shooting 70% in the clutch.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
he's doing unbelievable stuff with this team right now. And the games he's played in, they're 500 with him playing that way. Which tells you about just what they've got going on around them. I think they've dealt with some injuries. Gabe Vincent hasn't been there. I don't think Vanderbilt's played in one game yet.
Yeah, Vando's still
that'll solidify their depth a little bit. But I still watch them and I say, man, it's so much on LeBron from night to night. And that's part of the reason why they had to make that deal last year to bring in D'Lo and all of those guys, because they just needed to take some pressure off of LeBron. And I feel like even with those guys now, the pressure's right back on LeBron to do everything. AD's not quite living up to what the Lakers fans want him to be. Big shocker there. And I think just eventually, we know LeBron always gets to the point every season where he says, you know what? These guys ain't got it. Like, we got to do something else. And we know LeBron kind of hits that moment every year where he just kind of analyzes his team with his like supercomputer brain.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm done with these dudes. And he's not at that point yet, but it feels like if he keeps having to do this, they're headed toward there. And the guys I kind of circled in my mind were the two Chicago guys, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. I'm not sure if they have the assets to go get those guys. But that's the thing. If you're going star hunting this year, there's not a whole lot of great candidates out there to go get, unless Kyrie does what Kyrie always does. But
which is possible. Things are going
very
really
possible.
Well in Dallas. So
it depends,
right on schedule.
Depends how those sides are hitting for him at Thanksgiving. But nah,
what about Harden? Is Harden definitely going to stay?
Great question. That's a great question.
He's got to move down the hall now. You don't even have to go that far if he gets traded.
Do you know the on-off numbers for LeBron this year? The on-off net rating? It's like 7.7. They're plus 7.7 when he's on the court, which is fucking phenomenal. When he's off the court, they are minus 17.1 points per 100 possessions. They are worse than the Spurs without LeBron. They are worse than the Wizards. They are worse than they're worse than all those teams without LeBron on the court by a lot. By a lot. That's how crazy he's been this year.
And by the way, they paid all them dudes. They paid Rui. They paid Austin Reeves. They paid D'Angelo Russell. So it's not like, they invested in this team because they felt like this was what we're going to build upon, and it's just not good enough.
Do you need assets? Do you need a lot of assets to go get Zach LaVine? For DeRozan, I think you would. For LaVine, just taking that contract off of Chicago is an asset, isn't it?
I just want to go back to the on-off LeBron stats for a moment.
Okay.
Because I just looked up Anthony Davis with and without LeBron James. Davis.
I love where this discussion's going.
Without LeBron James, minus 16.7. Can you have some pride?
I have a question.
Can you play hard on every possession? Can you use your gravity to cut hard and get people open, get other people open? Can you do your job and be the second star that was promised?
Well, what if he stood 18 feet from the basket instead?
It's just like, why aren't you using your skills to help everybody? You should be so good, and yet so many times you're not. And he's awesome defensively, and I know people get mad.
Oh, you know what?
He has such another level to reach. There is no reason that LeBron James is 38 years old and they should be collapsing when he's off the court instead of when Anthony Davis is off the court. I'm sick of Anthony Davis. I'm sick of Anthony Davis.
I'm sick of having to do the qualifiers every time we criticize Anthony Davis.
No,
he's a good defender. Is there a star that you can remember that more people have to pretend to be in on?
You want to know the defensive rating? Speaking of defense, 122.5 when LeBron's off the court.
But how many years do we go into the season and they say LeBron's handing the reins over?
Passing the
it's
torch.
AD's team now.
Listen,
guys, the MVP candidate on his team is Anthony Davis now, guys. Don't come looking at LeBron now. We do this every year.
I've said this forever about AD. He is a singularly amazing talent that I don't really think raises the level of teammates. I just don't. There are spurts here and there, but I just consistently, I didn't see it in New Orleans. You definitely don't see it right now. Maybe in that first season in LA, maybe. But I don't know how. I just think he's the person that we pretend to be in on as like a superstar. You have to, because there's going to be a point where he's like, he plays really good basketball, but I thought you said he wasn't super. It's the same thing. Everyone goes through the same blank, vague look in their eyes once they start throwing out the qualifiers to like soften the blow of what they're about to say Anthony Davis is. And that's just that's not even my hot take. That's the cold take I have. That's not even anything. I like that they're gonna go star hunting here.